your weekly view of young leaders taking big steps. This is Next Gen. Sponsored by PFI Western Wear, home of Boot Daddy. Last week we learned about the 4 breakdowns of evaluating dairy cattle: the memory system, dairy strength, frame, and feet and legs. Today we learned about the why and the family traditions behind them. Well, you talk about the tradition, the heritage, but it's very generational. You're having multiple generations out of multiple families going through this process. And take me through, I think we're going to meet some of those, but take me through why those families encourage the next generation to be a part of it.
I think one of the reasons that we've seen that occurring is because it does have such an impact on their lives, and they want that for their kids, or they want it for their siblings. And it's just something that is like, I was on the judging team, I want you to be a part of that too. I want you to know what it feels like to go to that national competition. And of course, we've been fortunate enough to qualify for international competition twice recently, and so having that experience and gaining those relationships, not only within our state, across the United States and abroad, is really, really important. And I just think that, each family has looked at that and said, that's something I really want. I want that for my kids. So the family that owns this very farm is the perfect example of that. Larry is the father. He was on the dairy judging team for Missouri 4-H in 1974, and now both of his children have had an opportunity to be judges for us.
Well, what a cool testimony. Let's go meet them.
Okay.
Larry, 1974 was when you competed at the national level in dairy cattle judging. Going back many years ago, why did you get involved? Why did you feel that judging these cattle and learning and building those life skills was important?
Well, I had a knack for it. It was
you lived it every day.
There's a certain eye you have for things, and you can agree with the officials, and you get confidence, and then the next thing you know, you're doing better and better, and you have a good ability to give reasons. Oral reasons are very important. So I gave a nice set of reasons when I was a young kid.
And now your young kids are a part of it.
Yes, they are.
So what led you to maybe kind of push them in a direction or guide them into building these life skills?
Well, I don't know that it's the thing that they were raised with. Mm-hmm. They've always seen it. I judge shows across the country. We participate in cattle shows. We have decent cattle. So they've always been able to see that we have nice cattle, and it's easier to judge nice cattle than it is to judge bad cattle. So we've always done well.
Another example of dairy cattle judging tradition: 3 siblings all competing in different years. Brittany, going back to 2009, you judged competitively nationally. Let's go back to the very beginning. Did you always want to judge livestock?
No, I didn't.
So what led you to compete? Who convinced you? What gave you the confidence?
Talking to my mom and then Carla Deaver, they kind of convinced me and showed me all the different opportunities that it would allow me to come up and work with, and so that kind of led me to it, and it built my confidence, because at first I was terrified. I hated giving reasons, and I was horrible at it. The judging side wasn't bad, but reasons, it just scared me.
Yeah, so you can see the cattle, you knew which ones to place, some of the best ones, but you have to explain that. So
Mm-hmm.
over time, you got pretty good at reasons, so didn't you?
Yes.
And then let's talk about, since judging, you now work in the agricultural career field. How did that experience lead you to who you are and what you're doing today?
Working with, showing cattle and judging, I got to meet some really good people that are now my friends, and it opened up several opportunities. Going to college and throughout, that's how I made connections to work with the Lawrence County Farm Service Agency.
And Brittany and Grant, you both traveled internationally with those teams, and you've competed, Bailey, the last year or so nationally. So what's next for you?
I have 2 opportunities going into my senior year. I can judge at the World Dairy Expo in 4-H and FFA this year.
Being a role model has been key through these years. You've been able to look up to each other. So what advice would you give to a young 5-year-old running around, or to a younger sibling who's looking to follow in those footsteps that you guys have created?
I would definitely get involved with your local 4-H. 4-H is not just about judging cattle. I mean, there's so many different opportunities, and you'll meet friends that you'll have bonds with throughout your life. And I mean, it's a great organization that allows you to, do different things. I mean, you don't just have to be in one thing. I mean, you can do sewing or
allows you to
fruits and
diversify.
and you learn a lot from it. 4-H has helped me with a lot of my communication skills, confidence, and everything I need for my adult life.